Super duper. Now then, just give you a few seconds to absorb me. Right. A few moments to check me out. Browse the gift shop. See if there's anything you like. In fact, I think I see a few stunned faces in the crowd, thinking, I recognise that guy from somewhere. Isn't that James Allen, winner of the 2011 Bromborough Bulldogs Basketball Club Most Fun Player Award? Guilty. Isn't that James Allen, the guy who, when he was in year 11, had to fill in the back of his own leavers shirt because not enough people signed it? Tick. Sorry, no, my bad. That's James Allen, the guy who once failed to impress a girl in year 10 by lying to her about doing mixed martial arts and got so far involved into the lie that he ended up printing off tickets for a fight that was never going to happen at a location that did not exist, yet she somehow still turned up to. 'Tis I. Behold, I'm James, 21 years old. 21 years I've been on this planet, and in that time, I've learned a lot of valuable lessons. Most important lesson I think I've learned, though, is that I'm not very good at intimacy. No siree, not good at that part of the game. And this can be perfectly documented during my first ever and only relationship 4 years ago. 'Cause 6 months in, things were getting pretty steamy. Pretty saucy. That's right, guys. We were intercoursing. Yeah, don't like to brag, but that's what we were doing, right? We were getting down to it, getting freaky. But the moment was ruined, though, because the girl who I was with, she started to be quite dominant and in control. And unbeknownst to me, during it, she sort of flipped me over, jumped on top of me, just screamed, "Oh, who's in charge?" I just sort of panicked and went, David Cameron? You cannot come back from a moment like that. Don't get me wrong, during his tenure as Prime Minister, I think David Cameron did do some questionable things, right? But I think single-handedly ruining my only relationship by the sheer mention of his name goes above raising tuition fees and putting his member in a pig's mouth for me. Thanks, Dave. Terrible, though. Uni student, did a performance degree. I did a performance degree because I had the naive belief that when I started uni, by the time I graduate, I'd have had the moral integrity of studying something that I wanted to do. And I thought, you know what, I could abide by that. Although, guys, on this performance course, that moral integrity soon flew out of the window 2 weeks onto the course when I was taught how to forward roll. Yeah. Appreciate the chuckles, but guess who's got a brand new way to enter the job centre? You've got to take what you can get. You're competing for a job with hundreds of other people. You've got to think outside the box. You've got to be inventive. Not going to walk in like everyone else. No, too archaic. Just kick the door down, roll in. I'm here. Please give me a job. So much debt. Can't even teach. A lot of people come up to me after gigs and go, James, why don't you do the forward roll? Simple answer, guys. Failed the module. So, £27,000 for the most expensive aerobics course of my life. Awful. All these things hit you when you turn 21. You've got to grow up fast. I'm learning how to drive at the moment. Not enjoying that. Don't get along with my instructor. He's a very masculine kind of guy. We're trying to form a bond, but we can't. He's a very macho, old school kind of guy. Real masculinity for me, a lot like the location of my biological father, very hard to pin down. And he pulled me over one lesson and said, James, you seem to be struggling with the gear transitions there. I've got a bit of advice for you, James. Treat the gear stick like you would a lady. Be calm, be confident, be assertive. But treat the gear stick, James, like you would a lady. So I just left the gear stick alone, and we got Got nowhere for half an hour. I don't know if you've tried spending an afternoon trying to chat up a gear stick. Very much a one-way street. I hate when men do that, so I've used women as a cheap joke or analogy to try and get on my level. If you wanted to get on my level, guys, tell me to treat the gear stick like my finished copy of a 2006 World Cup sticker book that my mum threw out last year when we moved house. Then I can probably be a bit more relaxed. Every time I struggle to make the transition from third to fourth, I'm reminded of the time that when I got too carried away sticking in the England midfield, ended up putting David Beckham in upside down. It was fine. A few packets later, I got a brand new David Beckham, stuck him over the previous one. I thought, great, job's a good one. But because of the quality of Panini stickers, which is an issue that does need to be addressed, meant that the previous David Beckham, right, was sort of over the old one. He sort of, new one phased through the new one like a sort of cold caller on a frosted glass window, completely unwanted. My own brand of David Beckham casino cards. Patent pending. He's a very busy man. Last year, uni was terrible. I moved in with a girl who I thought was the one. We were going to grow old, marry. Oh, that didn't happen, did it, James? No, what did happen? Well, we still moved in, and our rooms were next to each other, and we were locked in a one-year contract. Oh, that doesn't sound too bad. She got a brand new boyfriend, and I could hear them every night whilst I cried into my pillow. How much did that cost you? Well, financially, £370 a month, but emotionally, about the cost of a Fabergé egg. And the new boyfriend, Darren, of course that was his name, Darren, brand new, top of the list for new boyfriend names, goes Darren, Joe, Luke, Matt. But Darren's at the top of the list, right? And people are like, oh, James, Darren's great, he does sports rehab, he's such a lovely guy, you've just got to get to know him. That's all very well and good, Darren. Where's that going to get you? Apart from a good job, decent salary, and a possible trip to, rehabilitate some of the most important sports stars of the country's ever seen. Where's that going to get you, Darren? I doubt, Darren. Can you name, Darren, all 32 teams that took part in the 2010 World Cup? Oh, I'm sorry, what's that? You can't. There's nothing to worry about. There's only France, Mexico, Uruguay, South Africa, Nigeria, Argentina, South Korea, Greece, Australia, Serbia, Ghana, Germany, England, Algeria, Slovenia, USA, Denmark, Japan, Holland, Cameroon, Italy, Paraguay, Slovakia, New Zealand, Portugal, Brazil, North Korea, Ivory Coast, and finally rounding off with Group H, Spain, Chile, Honduras, and Switzerland. So pick that one out of the net, Darren. Yeah. Let's just say, never saw him again, because I moved out. You've been absolutely lovely. I've been James Allen. Cheers. Thanks very much.